I recently started working with CNCs, and the first few days were really amazing. I just built this whole CNC from scratch, which you might have seen. Anyways, not bothering too much, but actually telling my work chain from Illustrator to Makercam to the G-code sender. Um, so a few key things to keep in mind is like when you're designing with Illustrator and creating an SVG file, is certain few things that I learned in a hard way. I just wanted to make it easier for everyone. So I'll actually walk you through like what we do. Always keep your units for the work area in centimeters. There's a reason for that, because in Makercam, which is the CAM software we're using, which is an online as well as you can get a flash version for the desktop, is in it has only two units, inches and centimeters, and I prefer to work with metric units, so I keep all my stuff in centimeters. Just like the key thing is that always keep both the work units and the GRBL for GRBL, keep the same. Try to keep both the units in sync. It's better. You don't lose track. Anyway, so as you can see in Makercam, you have only two unit options, so better pick centimeters. And then here in the Illustrator, when you're creating a document, creating the file, make it in centimeters. So let's just quickly create one. I'm just gonna do a very simple stuff here, a very basic rectangle, and let's just do an ellipse at the center. Whatever, it's not priority what it is. Anyways, the thickness of the stuff doesn't really matter, because it's going to be taken as only one unit stuff, but I like to clean it up, so make it the thinnest possible option. And then what you have to do is select all your objects or elements, and then go to objects and then expand. What it does basically, and in the expand option also, like uncheck the fill, because there is no fill. Oh, one thing I actually missed out. Whenever you create, because GRBL is gonna go around, there is no point keeping any shapes or solid colors. It just creates more memory in the SVG. So what you do is like unfill everything and just have the outlines laid out. So doesn't harm, doesn't do anything. Just a good practice. Then select all, do expand, uncheck the fill, and then click OK. Then while keeping them all selected, now you can see like they actually became a little bit how do I say, rasterized. It's not really rasterizing, it's what you're doing is confining all of the objects, individual objects, as a single path. This is how you do in Illustrator. There is a single button for that in Inkscape, where you just select all of your objects and do render object to path. Just to keep them all together, do Pathfinder and then do add. If you're not sure how to find your Pathfinder, go to Windows and then find it from there, and it'll pop up. And that is basically it. And then all you have to do is save it as an SVG. And here are a few key things when you're doing that. For example, test template. Let's just name it like that. No compressed SVG, just SVG. And in the SVG options, which is very, very important right now, which is again something I learned in a hard way, select SVG 1.1 and uncheck everything. You don't need anything here. And just by default, the decimal places will be 1. It's better to have it at 3. So SVG 1.1, decimal places 3, and uncheck everything and click OK. And let's look at our file. So it's in downloads. I don't know why I saved it in downloads. Where is it? Test template. There you go. You see small here. Okay, now let's go to Makercam. Makercam again. change it to centimeters because I like to work. I mean, I think people like to work with metrics. I don't know. I like to work with metrics. If you're keeping it in inches, better configure your GRBL to inches as well, and your Illustrator environment to inches as well for its units. Just keep all the units in sync together. Let's open up our file. It just takes a little bit time, but that's okay. And well, as you can see, it's highlighted here, not bad. And it's always done. It loads it in these coordinates. So this is your x, this is your y, and top of is your z. So x, y. Sorry, x and then y. It's pretty nice. This way, if you do this, you'll not get your geometries skewed, which is what generally happens, and that's why we did select all and then did expanded and combine them into a single object, because or else SVG Makercam takes each object individually, and as soon as it loads the first object, it sets up its reference, and other objects then get oriented according to that. So things get moving around. It's good practice this way to actually keep it together. Then what I do, which is a very custom configuration, is for my CNC. Well, traditionally all the CNCs are made to work in negative coordinates because it's not a build-up job, it's a eat-out job. So basically your materials are removed, and traditionally CNCs were, the coordinate systems were based in negative axis. So what I do is when I start my CNC, I start with I do a homing cycle so that I know where the origin is, and then the good way and the traditional way is whenever you do homing, your y-axis starts moving towards you and the x-axis starts moving towards the left, and the z-axis goes up. GRBL has options to do which one first, and you can edit all of them in the config file, but generally the z-axis is moved first so that your work area is cleared, and then they start moving together, x and y axis. Anyways, so let's do some operations here on the Makercam. So I select these, and then I do profile, and here you select all of your parameters, right, like according to, and keep in mind that these are all in mm. So your tool diameter, target depth, everything, you set it up, right? I'll just keep it for now default because I'm not actually CNCing right now, but there are plenty of other tutorials on Makercam out there. Anyway, so I will actually give it a, just to export the G code, I'll give it a cam operation. Let's say my tool is 1.02, which is actually, my thickness is for acrylic, like I was doing 3 mm. I'll do it from outside. This is safety height, I'll keep it by default 3. I'll do it in 3 plunges, so 1 mm. I'd like to go very slow because it's acrylic, so keep it at 20 mm per minute feed rate, and then plunge rate, since it's drilling, I'll keep it at like 100, and there you go. So, and then this one, let's see, calculate all. Let's just, I messed up somewhere here. Okay, let's just load it out again. The file loads sweet and easy. Move it to my desired coordinate, which is then all negative axis, because the machine is going to work in the negative axis, and that's how I have configured my machine. So vary accordingly. generally do the outer cutting last and do all the inner works, surfacing, adjacent surfacing, pocketing, milling before. 1.02, set 3 mm, do it from inside, safety height 50 minutes, okay, I'll keep it 1, and here I would go 20 very slow, same here, I'll kind of keep it at 80, that's okay. This is, and this one is same, I'll do later, okay, 1.02, target type 3, do it from outside, it's fine, do it at 1, again, I'll move very slow on the feed rate, sorry, not 220, and here it's 80, and counterclockwise, perfect. So when I do this, I can do calculate all, and I can do my view cuts here, and yeah, looks about okay. And then you can then export the G code. Apparently I've mistaken something, I haven't actually done any operation on this one, but only this one, but that's okay. We're not CNCing right now. Export the G code, select all of these, choose your folder, and let's just keep it like that by default. And then I prefer to use a simulation software before I send it to the GRVL, which is called Chemiotics. It's free, it's cheap, it's free. It's not open source, I don't know if it's open source. So there you go. It is now going to simulate. First step, second step, and third step. Although your universal G-code sender can read the modern G-code formats like NC and all that stuff, I still prefer to export it from here as G-code. So part.G-code, and that's it. That should be it. Now I can actually open up my universal G-code sender and then see if it's able to load the file. So I'm still in the downloads. Part.G-code, open, and there you go. There it is, and that will be exact size, the size that you have actually designed in Illustrator. And all of this toolpath might seem very easy at the beginning, but apparently the problem I was facing was my geometries were getting skewed, or they were getting larger than or smaller than the actual ones. So because SVG doesn't have a dimension, so in Makercam you have this Illustrator or Inkscape. For each of these softwares you have pixel per inch ratios for resolution, and then when these guys are building this, they did some experiments and found these values are perfect for files exported from Illustrator and Inkscape respectively. And the way they detect if your file was Illustrator or Inkscape is because the SVGs have a header on top from which software they have been exported, especially from Illustrator and Inkscape. So these values have been, I fiddled around a little bit and found some approximate values, but then every time if you have to change that, it's kind of a pain in the ass. So that's why all these settings at Illustrator, while a little minor small things just to keep in mind while you're actually making your SVG or exporting it. And that's it. So I didn't find any good tutorials online, so just making this just to save some time for other people. Nice. Cheers, guys.